What is going on, guys? What is happening? Welcome to another great episode. Yes, another great episode. Every episode is really great, but just welcome to another great show here on the Arrington Gavin podcast. This is the show where we discuss trending news and thought provoking topics from the fields of politics, sports, pop culture, and so much more. Very excited to be joining you here on this awesome Friday. Hope you all have something great planned for the weekend. You know, if you don't, just get your rest and chillax and all that good stuff. But I'm excited to be here with you all as always. Thank you so much for tuning in to this show. Brought to you by Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is the new smooth. Um, New episodes as you see scrolling down at the bottom as I'm speaking. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, all that great stuff. What else? What else is new? What else is new? Um, Oh yeah, if you prefer to watch the video version of this show, I don't know why I forget because it's scrolling down at the bottom. And I say this all the time. By the way, this is episode 86, y'all. So I should really know by now how to do the intro and stuff. But I feel like every day is a new one. So for me, every day is like starting fresh. So um, yeah, if you prefer to watch the video version of this show, be sure to go to our YouTube channel, R Smooth Club Media. Okay, the letter R and then Smooth and then Club Media, R Smooth Club Media on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share, please share. If you are a Rumble watcher, you can watch our podcast on there as well. All you have to do is just type in the Arrington Gavin podcast. You can watch it from there. You can also check us out on Facebook at our Smooth Club Podcast and on X at RSC Media, okay, or our Smooth Club Media, whichever the two you can type in. You can watch us from there. So many ways you can watch the show, many ways you can stream the show. I'm just again always thrilled to be having just a simple conversation with you all, and we're gonna get it going with some of the news. I'm working on some new stuff, as you know. This is the second episode. I kind of jazzed up the intro music as well as added a intro video through that. So again, we're continue to grow the platform, grow the show, continue to get the studio all intact. I'm trying to make sure this is not too bright or too light. Just let me know on YouTube or on social media on our Instagram at our Smooth Club Media. You can let me know from there. Let's get it going with some I'm gonna start this off first. I think this is a dope thing. So Good Times, if y'all don't remember the old sitcom show Good Times, uh Good Times was started off in 1974, y'all. 1974, and went on to for 6 amazing seasons from 1974 to 1975. It was created by Eric Monte and Mike Evans, and then developed by executive producer the late great Norman Lear. Who, I mean, Norman Lear's resume goes back from All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Maude. If for you old heads that love to tune into this podcast, and for you young ones that are listening to this or watching me right now, if you don't know, ask your parents, ask your grandparents. There were like major shows back then. So Good Times was actually a spinoff from Maud, and it was when the two lead characters, Florida Evans was, I believe she was played by Esther Rolle, and she was the maid. She was a maid, and the whole show just it gave you a look of hardworking African American family living in, I want to say, New York. And actually, I have so I'll make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Okay, it says Florida and James Evans and their three children live in 721 North Gilbert Avenue, apartment 17C, in a public housing project in a poor black neighborhood in the inner city of Chicago. The project is unnamed, of course, on the show, but is implicitly the infamous Cabrini Green home shown in the opening and closing credits. Now, Florida and James Evans have 3 children. James Jr., also known as JJ, if y'all don't remember Dynamite, JJ Evans. A budding artist and illustrator who thinks of himself as a Casanova type and achieves both success and rejection on his path to monetize his talent into career. Thelma, who's a middle girl, a very bright girl, takes education very seriously. So there was Thelma, and then there was who was the other brother's name? Michael. Yes, that was the youngest one, Michael. And it was a great show that explained the heartache, the good and the bad side of living in the poor housing projects. But it was such a beautiful show because it represented the Black community with grace. I mean, you had the sweet mother that didn't play. Then you also had the very strict, hardworking father in James Evans. So, long story short, that show is extremely successful, won countless awards. I believe it just celebrated, 1979. It had to be close to almost 50 years. I could be wrong. No. Yeah, it was almost maybe 40 years, maybe 40. I'm not good at mental math, but the show is very historic. But I say all this because there have been announced that they'll be doing a Good Times reboot, but as a cartoon, and it'll be airing on Netflix. So let me go ahead and bring you this graphic right here. Let me see here. Which I have like mixed emotions with this because y'all know I'm not crazy with the whole reboots and bringing back shows, especially that was very, very successful shows. And I'm just in between right now. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good cartoon. I'm a guy that in my free time, I rather watch cartoons than I do watch the news. And I love my news. You can ask my wife. My wife's always like, "Why do you watch the news so much? The news, the news, the news." But I'm a news buff. I watch other podcasts besides the Arrington Gavin podcast. I watch documentaries, movies, action comedy, stand-up comedy. I watch it all. But I always love a good cartoon. I'm still watching Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry. You can't go wrong with the classics. Family Guy, American Dad, The Proud Family. Now, if you go back to my my child days, I'm a huge Proud Family fan as well. But excuse me, this is reported by Vibe, and it's talking about the revival of Good Times. So, Good Times let me read it. Let's see. Okay, the animated officially released its date. It will be on Netflix and streaming April 12th. Okay, April 12th of this year. The preview that they put out was this. I believe it was this past Wednesday. Yes, this past Wednesday they showed like a small trailer of it, and they have the cast, and it's actually going to be pretty. I'm liking who's on here. So Marsha Martin, I believe Marsha Martin she played the youngest daughter on Blackish. Okay, she was like one of the twins. And you have Jay Farrell. Shout out to Jay Farrell, comedian, actor, 757 hometown hero, Chesapeake native as well. Originally from Chesapeake. Shout out to him. Yvette Nicole Brown, a very iconic actress as well. JB Smooth. I mean, come on, who doesn't know JB Smooth? Curb Your Enthusiasm, stand-up comedian, host, you name it, actor. Slick Johnson and Rashida Sheets Ole Vole. I'm sorry, Sheets, if I mispronounced that last name. But they will be a part of the new Good Times reboot, but as a cartoon. Now, looking at it, they're showing, and I'm gonna scroll down and show a little more of gives you a little more of the full cast. You got the dad, you got the little one, you have the wife, you have, obviously it's a new updated version because the original was in the 1970s. so much was happening. But again, it was an iconic show because uh, they were bringing on current issues during that time period happening in the 70s. Okay, whether if it was drug use, domestic violence, uh, 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 child neglect, affairs, crime, you name it. Racism, the whole 9 yards. The whole 9 yards was on. You saw it on Good Times, and that's one unique thing about Norman Lear, who executive produced the show. If y'all are not familiar with Norman Lear, please look him up. He just passed, I believe, last year at like 100, 101, something like that. Extremely talented man, and all his shows. He was a Jewish guy, but he created shows that were very impactful, not just really in the black community, but for the all of America to see. They showed the issue, it showed discrimination, but it also showed unity between different cultures and ethnicities and nationalities. So it's a great show. I'm very excited to check this one out. I'm trying to see who is going to be executive producer. Okay, it shows here the executive music producer, but I'm trying to see who is da, 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 da. Let's see which. Uh okay, so Renata Shepard and Carl Jones are the series co-creators, with Shepard serving as executive producer and showrunner. Um okay. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it succeeds. But I can't lie, uh uh when it comes to reboots, I have mixed feelings when it comes to reboots, because not all reboots can do could do a great job. I mean, let's be honest. Um when they brought back well, I take it back. Well, no, I don't take it back. When I'm gonna bring sequels as well as reboots. So I guess you can consider Coming to America a reboot. Uh Coming to America, the second one, in my eyes, wasn't like it wasn't all that. I mean, they for one, they piled it up with so many stars, which, I mean, you're like, oh, that could be a good thing, but it's just like it was all around the place. It had the storyline, which made sense, but it had a little too much quirkiness in it. It wasn't as realistic to me as the first one, in comparison, the second one in comparison to the first one. So I mean, reboots can, back and forth. Obviously, you know how I feel about Fast and Furious. With there's not reboots, there's just continuations and stuff like that. um you know, Bel Air. Bel Air was technically a reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but it had a whole different twist to it. It was more drama. You know, it was totally different from the very first, original Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I know people always thought about Martin possibly making a reboot of that show. Not going to work. Jamie Foxx made a comeback to sitcom, with the Netflix series that got canceled after one season, because, in my opinion, he tried to bring a lot of the Jamie Foxx show, the sitcom, to this new show that he recently did on Netflix, and it just wasn't good. So it's almost like, however the public's feeling, however their attitude, what is funny to them in 2024, what's like the ultimate, most talked about thing, and you know, uh, uh, what is humorous now, right? It's hard to try and bring on 1970s humor to 2024 humor. You got cancel culture now. You can't say things that you did in the past. So but one interesting thing about them starting this show is the fact that, like I mentioned before, what they were talking about in the 70s, discrimination, uh, 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 what goes on in the lower income, the inner city, right? Uh, uh, Domestic abuse, crime. I mean, in a sense, that stuff's never left. and it's most likely never going to leave. So in a sense, this show is in the right era, because are they going to incorporate politics into this? Are they going to incorporate? Are they going to add in activism? Right? We have so many activist groups now. I think more than was in the 70s. Are they going to bring on NILs, right? Are they going to talk about? Are they going to bring in stories of college universities and athletes trying to get paid more? I mean, what is so much stuff happening right now till it's unreal. So I think that this could work, especially for a cartoon. Especially for cartoons. Cartoons, in a sense, they look up more than an actual just live action show. For some reason, people are more attracted to cartoons. People are more attracted to cartoons, regardless of the age. So I'm gonna be looking forward to this. Again, this is going to be called Good Times, and it's going to be the animated series. And it will stream. It will begin streaming on Netflix April 12th. Okay, April 12th. I'll repeat who's starring in it: Marsha Martin, Jay Farrell, Yvette Nicole Brown, JB Smoove, Slink Johnson, and then Rashida Ole man, I'm sorry. Sheets, and it's Sheets, Sheedz. Sheets. Rashid Sheets. Okay. Well, she's in it too. So I'm sorry. I'm not good with these names, man. I'm not good with the names. But moving on. Let me get this out. All right. So guys, I am think I'm gonna be bringing on a new segment here on the Arrington Gavin podcast. It's gonna be called Common Sense University. And the reason why I'm gonna call it Common Sense University, because there are a lot of crazy ass stories that occur in our country, in our world today, where it's like people don't remember they must have didn't graduate from Common Sense University. I mean, it's almost like, if you remember the show Jackass, okay, and those guys purposely did that. These people, but Jackass, they were also getting paid too. It was almost like stupid dares, but these people they're doing this for real. They're not doing this for clickbait or pay, or they're literally doing it. And I'm just like, Lord have mercy. Common Sense University. People forget. Okay, you can be a highly educated individual. You can be summa cum laude. You can have all the degrees out the yin yang, but guess what? If you don't have common sense, I'm sorry. Common sense will catch up more than those degrees. Okay, if you don't have that common sense degree, you will struggle. All right, you will struggle. So let me bring on this crazy video. Oh man, let me see. I'll pull this up right here for you guys. See if I can get this going for you. Oh. Can y'all see that right there?
Watch my truck. There you go. Yeah, my truck. Destroy this whole truck for nothing.
Yeah, let that replay for you guys. Let that replay for you guys.
There you go.
this guy, whoever he is, this is I caught this on the Shade Room. You can check this out on the Shade Room. Well, I think this is I could be lying to you. Hold on. Well, wherever it was on, I don't think it was on the on the Shade Room, but you will find it's all over social media. So this very genius man decided to drive off with not one but two boots on his tires. Okay? Two boots on his tire. Now, I'm sorry. And Lord, no, I have very close family in Newark, New Jersey. Y'all need to, Lord have mercy, pray for this individual right here. Please pray for this individual. Because I, like, sir, you thinking that they ain't gonna get me. I'm good. I'm a jet. First of all, when you have one boot on your vehicle, a boot is supposed to prevent you from driving. Okay, which he took off, but he's messing up his car. He probably didn't make it. He didn't make no more than 5 seconds away from where he was from that parking lot. But like, why do you like that? Makes it even better. Like, dude, just pay the fine. You got caught. Stop. People need to realize that, okay, when you do good, when you take what's the word I'm looking for? When you take fault of stuff that you do wrong, sometimes there can be a brighter light at the end of the tunnel. Meaning that, hey, look, man, I'm so sorry. But the fact that he got 2 boots, though, that tells me that car must have been there longer, because I thought they just usually give 1, because it looked like he had backed up maybe from a handicap parking space. But you can't be playing, man. You can't be playing with the law like that. What kills me is the fact that you are representing someone or a group of people, that same individual. And then the fact that this is on social media, people are always going to start making their judgments like, oh, see, they crazy, man. See, you got, look at, they are crazy. And it's like, dude, like, why do you have to do stupid stuff like that? Us black people, we already are continuing to break barriers, and now stupid shit like this just brings us back, another step back. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This guy literally drove off with not 1 but 2 boots. Lord, forgive me for cussing too. I'm trying to clean it up a little bit on my podcast, because I'm trying to get professional, y'all. I'm trying to go corporate. You don't know who's watching, who's listening to this show. But it really kills me, the fact that I see that stories like these exist. Okay, now this man messed up his truck, which is probably maybe it could have been his only way of transportation. He has to pay more money to do that, and on top of that, oh, guess what? You are on film. People got you on video driving off, breaking the law even more. So that fine you probably had to pay, guess what? That fine you might get some jail time. Okay? Or that fine might just increase even higher. The way the law is, man, you don't know what could happen. So that is something, y'all, I want to continue to bring on. That was our very first I guess segment I call Common Sense University. Common Sense University. I gotta get a like a little sound effect after that, but that's just something I'm working on. Again, I'm continue to grow. I want to keep giving you guys great content, get creative, all that good stuff. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a quick commercial break, y'all. But when I come back with more here on the Arrington Gavin podcast, we're gonna be talking about a certain 2 things. Well, we're gonna talk about vasectomies and the vice president. Maybe, or not the vice president, but a potential candidate for VP. Okay, so I know that's kind of like, where the hell? What? This man said vasectomy, and then we're gonna go into politics all at once. No, 2 separate stories, but that's what we're gonna talk about after this commercial break. All right, I'll be with you on the other side. Okay, more of the Arrington Gavin podcast. Be right back. All right, family. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin podcast. All right, so like I told you before the break, I was gonna be bringing up some more interesting topics. This one, it'll be talking about vasectomies. The reason why I bring this up says right there, vasectomy, yay or nay? Are you team vasectomy? Are you not team vasectomy? This is for the fellas out here, not really the ladies, but the fellas. The reason why I asked this is because uh on my birthday I had the opportunity to spend time with two of my best friends, who's they're both married to each other, right? My wife and I, and another good buddy of mine and his wife. And so they are a little older than us, not by a lot, but just a little older than us. And we were talking about we had, I don't know how we even got on the conversation about vasectomies, because they don't have children, and I think they're at that age where it's like, hey, they rather, not want it, because they're busy, they're doing this and doing that. So and like, like myself, with my wife, it's in conversation. If I'm more of an uncle type, I love kids, but I just know, guys, that kids are a huge responsibility, huge responsibility. And I know, for me, being a business owner, trying to grow a career in media, I run a foundation as well, and so it's a lot. My wife, she's a workaholic, and she also is an entrepreneur. She has her own business. She's a published author, and it can be a lot. I mean, we have a dog, and that one little puppy is a piece of work right there. That's a lot for me. But it's at the end of the day, I have, of course, the not pressure, but sometimes I feel as though it's a little pressure. I have, people in my family saying, "Don't you just want your legacy to continue? You want your legacy to continue?" Um, I have people saying that, this is that great age to have a child because you're still young, and your grandparents are at a great age where everybody can enjoy this and that and the other. And I'm like, I hear you, but I'm ignoring you. I, I hear you, but I'm ignoring you, because at the end of the day, once that moment occurs, look, I know that our whole lives will change, not for the bad, but for great, for the good. But it's just the responsibility gets more heavy. And again, I'm doing my best. It's hard to manage business. I'm still a husband too. That's another job. It's just a lot of it's a lot of positions that it's like, okay, we're continuing to learn this thing called life. And so we just, all around, we had the conversation about vasectomy, and my bro was like quick to say, yeah, I'm getting it. And to me, I'm like, whoa, because when you hear that word vasectomy, you know, guys, we are very quick to say hell no. Okay, absolutely not. I have another good friend of mine who actually went through the procedure. He's around like 47, 48, has two grown kids, not married, and he's like, hey, he's living his best life. He's like, man, I'm out, I'm working out, got my business, I'm doing this. He's living his best life. Um my other close friend who has said he's quick to doing it, he's maybe mid to late 30s. And so I was just curious to kind of talk with you all on more about vasectomies. Right now, I will talk a little further on in the years to come on this, or episodes to come here on this show. I'll bring on a medical professional to really get in depth, but just a little bit of information that I'm pulled up here, and this is on plannedparenthood.org if you want to check it out yourself. And it's under the category, let's see, I'm on vasectomy. So let's first go to the root. Okay, what is a vasectomy, right? Vasectomy, also called male sterilization, is a surgical procedure. It's meant to protect against pregnancy permanently, so it's super effective. Okay, another reason why I thought this was a good conversation to bring up, because I had came across on my social media a picture of actor Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro is 80 years old. Okay, 80 years old. One of my all-time favorite actors. I'm a huge fan of mafia-based shows, right? So, or mafia style movies and theme movies like that. So, Untouchables, Godfather, Casino, everything, honestly, anything De Niro, even comedy, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, all of them. Huge fan of Robert De Niro. Him and his, I believe it's his wife or fiance. I'm not sure their relationship status, but they have a child together. And De Niro is seen in this photo, and it's very beautiful. He's seen holding his 10-month-old daughter. 10-month-old child. De Niro is 80 years old. Now, he's not the only one that's doing this. His good friend Al Pacino, who's I believe either the same age as him or a little older, also has a fairly newborn. And in my mind, I am like, this cannot be like a normal thing. Like, I mean, I get it. Yes, it's okay. Life being brought into this world is always going to be a beautiful thing, but I'm sorry. When you are in your 80s and you have newborns, I mean, like, that's just like, it's more harder for the child, because what I'm the child is going to be set for life. Let's be honest. Okay, the child's going to be set for life financially, all that good stuff, but I mean, when 80, bro, and that's only 10-month-old. Like, I mean, how old would you be? 5th grade graduation, when they enter into junior high, college. Like, I mean, it's just at a point is unfair for the child to go through that, because you are the father, the grandfather, the great grandfather, all at the same time. Okay. And you know me, I'm a person where, hey, live your life the way you want to, and it's nothing wrong. Like, just you do you. I'm not trying to be up all in your business, but I'm just venting at this point. I'm giving you my opinion on this whole thing. When you're at that age, I mean, you're still gonna be, obviously, I ain't saying you gotta stop, bumping and grinding, but was vasectomy ever in the back of your mind? Huh? Was this ever a thought process? Do you wrap it up? Like, is it me explaining to people in their 80s, hey, safe sex is the most important thing here. Take some condoms. Like, that is just wrong. That is just so weird. It is weird. But I look at and even not even 80s. I mean, let's look at Nick Cannon, for example. Nick Cannon made it very viral that he was just popping out babies like popping out, popping a Tic Tac or something, right? Like, he was just like, every time he was impregnating a girl all around the US. Okay, I believe he's at like 12 or 13 kids. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying he has that many baby mamas, but they're more than 5, I believe. So again, your goal might say you want to have 25 kids. You do you. That might be your goal. There's some people that want to have as many kids as they can possibly have, but it's a reason why you have something called vasectomies, because there's people that are team, well, I want to have unprotected sex with my spouse, but I also don't want to have more children either. So this is a good avenue to pursue. But vasectomies, they look intimidating because all you hear is surgery and surgery down there in the private area, in the berries, in the family jewels. All right. So read a little more on this. So again, I read you a little brief description of what a vasectomy is. It's another let's see here. It says okay, vasectomy is a simple surgery done by a doctor in an office, hospital, or clinic. Okay, the small tubes in your scrotum that carry sperm are cut and blocked off. See that cutting? That's where. So sperm can't leave your body and cause a pregnancy. So, to my knowledge, I wonder if, and this is something I'm gonna have to ask the doctor, but if it stops the sperm from entering, what comes out when you like what comes out? like like is it dust? Like what comes out? Is it like do you ever like do you feel satisfied? I mean, I know you feel like you're satisfying your lady, but like does anything no? I'm curious. The procedure is very quick and can go home the same day and extremely effective at preventing pregnancy almost 100%. All right, almost 100%. Um okay, I didn't know this. There's two types of vasectomies. There's the incision method and then there's the no scalpel, which is no cut method. No cut method lowers the risk of infection and other complications. Oh my lord. And generally take less time to heal. Woo, woo. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say how does it work. I'm not going to go into detail with that. Um, but I want to go to okay. Can a vasectomy be reversed? Because there's people that might say, "Hey, okay, look, I might want to have a vasectomy in my 30s," but you might have a turn of event and be like, you know what, we're retired, we're still very healthy. I want to have a now. What I can get is why I mean, you do have the adoption method because I know a lot of people they will get a vasectomy early. Well, not a lot. I know some story. I've heard some stories where people will get a vasectomy at an early age, and then later on they wish they had kids. So they try so hard, and they maybe pursue adoption route. But this is saying okay. Ask the question. Okay, can a vasectomy be reversed? Vasectomies are meant to be permanent, so they can't always be undone. It's sometimes possible to reverse vasectomy, but there are no guarantees your fertility may not come back. Wow, that is heavy. That is heavy. So I want to bring that up, guys, because once again, we're men. I'm a man. I am a man, and I do not just want to, have fun and have a conversation and be, quirky here on this, but I want to inform people as well. These are conversations that will go on in just in relationships. These are conversations that come about pretty often. Whether you're been in a relationship with this same person for quite some years, whether if you're married and don't have kids, like this is always, or if you have kids, right? If you have kids and you're being like, look, I think I'm done after, such and such. So, I mean, ladies, they have what they call, getting their tubes tied, men, vasectomy. So I just want to know, guys, hey, are you yay or nay with getting a vasectomy? I'm gonna, leave a comment on our YouTube channel. Please, please, please. I'm very curious about this. I want to get in contact with some of our local medical professionals that does vasectomy procedures. I want to get their thoughts on this. I also want to probably bring on some fathers that or just men in general that has gotten the procedure. So I'm curious. I'm curious to hear more and read more on this one. But guys, we're gonna end the show with our final story uh of this show. Okay, Tulsi Gabbard for VP. So if y'all don't remember who Tulsi Gabbard is, she is a former congresswoman, Democratic congresswoman out of Hawaii, and very, I mean, really, a fan favorite to some, just as far as a likable individual. Let me bring this on. Um, and she has since then become a political commentator. Now, she was a former presidential candidate. She served on the second congressional district from 2013 to 2021 in Hawaii. She's also a United States Army Reserve officer. Excuse me. When she was on Congress, she was also its first Hindu member. the first Samoan American to become a voting member of Congress. Awesome. And yeah, in 2020 she ran the United States. She ran for president in 2020, and did she? Let's see. She was a yeah, she was. She was a Democratic candidate in 2020, and since then, since then she has left the Democratic Party. She's a registered independent. Her job, honestly, is now to bash the left and the Democratic Party. That is what she's known for right now, and she's getting paid, highly paid, okay, doing so. Um, she how can I describe Tulsi Gabbard? So the interesting things about her was she was a rising star in the progressive movement as a progressive Democrat. Like she was very, 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 very popular. As far as for president, she supported for 8 years Bernie Sanders for president, who is a U.S. senator out of Vermont, independent, registered independent. But he's an independent that's always leaned more on the left. Um, she she has her own, I think her own podcast now. She's literally published books on leaving the Democratic Party and the corruption that's going on in the Democratic Party and so on and so on. But she has also been now in the news for quite some time on and not for a bad thing, but because there's two presidential candidates that are interested in having her potentially as a VP as their running mate. And no, I'm not talking about Joe Biden as far as one of the two. I'm talking about Robert F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump. So here's the interesting thing. What I think about all of this. On the left, Tulsi Gabbard is being called a grifter, someone who is basically, been a false Democrat all her life, and now she's in it for the money, and she's getting paid basically to bash a party that she served for many, many years. And I don't go to that far extent. I mean, I just, people can always have a change of heart when it comes to politics. Me personally, it's another reason why I've always just aligned myself in the middle, because you cannot just say, me personally, I can't just say I'm a full on Democrat, okay, or I'm a full on Republican, or I'm straightforward in the middle, okay, fiscally conservative, socially liberal. That's the realms I always walk back and forth with. I voted for Democratic presidents most of the time. And I've now, when it comes to local and state levels, I voted back and forth. Okay. I look at person, not party. That's just how I roll. But going back to Tulsi Gabbard, uh she I don't know if it's just because she was disappointed and not getting a lot of support by the party. And in a sense, she's like, "Hey, I'm a rebel. F y'all. I'm going independent. I'm done with y'all." Because initially, she was a Democrat that was always appearing on strong conservative outlets, strong conservative media outlets. She was, I believe, the first Democrat to speak. I could be wrong, but she was a headline speaker at CPAC, which is a oh man, it's a conservative, like, political action committee or something like that. I could be wrong, but it's a very well known conservative, very strong conservative event that occurs. They've had it in Florida, they've had it in Tennessee, they've had it all around, but they always have voices from the far right and voices that are just very strong conservative. Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Donald Trump, of course. You name it, they have them there. Steve Bannon, everybody spoke there, as well as Tulsi Gabbard. So it was very weird. It's like, wait a minute, Democrat talking at CPAC. Interesting. I remember going way back during the last what do you call it? The last presidential election when it was the RNC, the Republican Republican RNC convention they had. uh One of the speakers that was speaking in support of Donald Trump was a man by the name of Vernon Jones. He's a former congressman out of Georgia. At the time, he was, when he spoke for Donald Trump, he was very open to saying, yes, I'm a Democrat supporting Donald Trump because the Democrat. And then, like 2 days later, he switched and said, I'm going to Republican. Switched. This is not new, right? You have I remember hearing about the mayor in Dallas. He was a Democrat. He switched to Republican. Um, and then also there was another congressman. I'm forgetting which state she's in, but she also did the same thing. Now, for me, I don't like. I'm not a fan of anybody that's. Well, I won't say that. I won't say that. I'm just. I'm not always okay when people, you know, party switch. Now I understand, hey, you have a change of heart, that's cool. But um um it's like at the end of the day, I just wish you can just be your authentic. And well, let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase it. I'm not a fan of people that switch a party while they're holding a position that they were elected to from that party, if that makes sense. So say if I run for an office position and I run as a Democrat and I've won that position and now I am holding that seat and I'm proud and this and any other, and then I switch parties during my administration. Yeah. To me, that's unfair, because what you just done was, in a sense, dumb down and just reject your key supporters, right? Everybody who supported you to get in office, now you just kind of say, "Hey, kiss my butt. I'm gonna switch parties and I'm done with y'all." I'm not too cool with. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too cool with. Now, this is Tulsi has not done this at all. She did her how about to say, like, did her time, like she did jail time. She didn't do jail time. She already um uh finished out her term as congresswoman as a Democrat. Now when she was finished with politics, she was a a regular commentator on back and forth, like part-time commentator on Fox News. And again, we know Fox News agenda. Their agenda is to bash the left. So I knew she was never going up there to speak highly about the Democratic Party. She wasn't there to support and being a representative of them, because they do have contributors that are say, hey, look, I'm a Democrat, so I'm always going to give my view on a Democratic level. No, she was always giving her opinion, bashing the left. So what does Fox News do? They promote her. They's like, oh no, she got to be, you gonna be a full time contributor here. And she even hosted a couple of times, guest hosted Tucker Carlson show on there. At one point, she appears on this show called The Five, which is she's supposed to be sitting in a liberal seat, but she never gives a liberal. In my opinion, she doesn't give a liberal take on anything. But she is, she's a registered independent now. Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, and the I guess the uh, independent candidate who's leading on the third party, Robert F. Kennedy. He's thinking about considering Tulsi Gabbard as a VP. Now, Tulsi vocally she made publicly that if she receives that call from President Donald Trump, she will be more than willing, more than interested, and honored to serve as his VP. Again, someone who is a progressive Democrat now saying, "Hey, look, I will run alongside and be proud to be a running mate of Donald Trump." A little off for me. A little off. Reading on, and this is reported by NBC News, by the way, which you can see it up there. But I am trying to, if she considers leaning more towards Robert F. Kennedy, who started off as a Democrat. He still is very much, he's very much still a, I'll say, a left leaning independent. The reason I say that is because it's not like he's been an independent for 5,000 years. I mean, he literally just switched parties because he realized he was never going to get any support from, because this is how politics works, y'all. If a candidate doesn't get any backing from say the Democratic Party, because he was a registered Democrat at the time, and he wasn't getting any support by them, he's like, you know what, bump y'all. Now, he was getting a lot of support from the right because of his views on vaccines, but he never considers himself a Republican. So he's like saying, okay, how can I still, still get those supporters from the left, also get those supporters from the right? I'll run as an independent, because see, like myself, I do not want to see a Biden Trump repeat. I really don't. You have the demented versus the demonic. Okay, one side is saying this guy's too old, the other side is saying this guy is evil, and how we can't have. So I just don't want to see a repeat of Biden and Trump. So a lot of, especially young voters, are leaning towards third party options. They're continue to read up on and check out RFKs, or at least third party options platform. Even libertarians and people that represent the Green Party. I mean, there's so many other parties of no labels, right? And the more I know, give me 1 second. RFK will actually be making his announcement for VP, because I'm looking on this on one of his staffers sites. He will be making his announcement for vice presidential pick March 26th. Okay, March 26th, which I believe will be next Tuesday. Okay, next Tuesday, March 26th, he will be making his announcement on who he will choose as his VP candidate. Again, she is Tulsi Gabbard is a registered independent. To what I see in the public and even within conversations, I feel as though she leans a little more on the right. But hey, if she considers to be his VP, I want to continue to read up on like why, as far as his choice, because uh yeah, I'm very curious. Let me see. Yeah, responsibilities are not um yeah, I'm still trying to, I'll read a little more on this and I'll post this on social media, but I'm just trying to understand exactly what RFK is looking for a VP, because not too long ago, guys, I spoke on the show that he was interested in having Aaron Rodgers as his VP as well. Can someone ask me what political experience does Aaron Rodgers have? I'm waiting. But you know what? Silly me, I forgot. We had a former president of the United States that didn't even serve on a school board. So sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. He also, he thought about or is considering Jesse Ventura, a WWE Hall of Fame wrestler, former governor, Minnesota governor, Jesse Bob Ventura. At least Jesse, he served as a governor. Okay, he served as a governor. But he is also a person that has been out of politics for a long time, still very much involved as speaking engagements and things like that. But he hasn't been a part of the whole political scene in a long time. So I just I will say this about RFK though. What I've seen on social media, he is putting in the work as far as doing a lot of stuff grassroots, really going in depth with certain groups to speak with. I mean, he's teamed up with a lady, oh my gosh, Angie. Let's see. Angela Stanton King. She, he's worked with her as far as getting the conversations with prominent people within the Black community. Um, he's a fresh face, around 70 years old, but I will say a fit 70. He's pretty fit for his age. He's a Kennedy, which you have your fans that are just lovers of the Kennedy families in general. But he is a fresh face. It will be an interesting election. I will just say this before I end this conversation with you guys. I'm not the biggest fan of Tulsi Gabbard. I'm just not. I'm just not. I think it makes great headlines. But I don't. I'm not crazy. And I mean, I'm not saying I dislike her. I would love to have her on the show. I would love to have a conversation with her. Just on her career as a in politics. Her career as a at the time as a Democrat. I want to know why does she why was she registered as a Democrat for so long, and now what's the major deal of why you are like a full-time like basher in a sense. Like I'm curious. I'm very curious on her, just her position. She had recently was a part of a group of personalities that had signed exclusive deals with X. She was signed to do some exclusive content with the platform. So that hasn't started yet. I don't know when that will start. If she, gets chosen by one of these two presidential candidates, would that change? Would that deal end? I don't know. Would that still continue? I don't know. We will see. We will see. But y'all, that's all that I have for everyone this evening. I hope you all continue to support the platform, support independent media, support Black owned media. I'll truly appreciate that. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Again, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast. You can listen to us on all platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast. All you have to do is just type in R Smooth Club Media, and you will find the Arrington Gavin, or you can type in the Arrington Gavin podcast. You will find me there. Also, if you prefer to watch the video version, subscribe, follow our YouTube channel, R Smooth Club Media. R Smooth Club Media. Those new episodes drop those same days at 5 p.m. Okay. And Rumble, for you Rumble subscribers out there, please subscribe. I truly appreciate that. If you're on Facebook, you can watch episodes at on our Smooth Club podcast on Facebook, as well as X on RSC Media. So love you guys. See you next time. I will see you on Monday. Yes. See y'all on Monday. See, I'm forgetting my own. Come on, Arrington, do better. See y'all on Monday. Until next time, y'all be easy. Stay safe. Oh, wrong one. Ha.